this is Vargas XX78 with another collection pickup video. It's actually a continuation of the last video that I posted for you guys, collection-wise. So, like I said, I want to take, I want to separate it because I want to make people listen to me talk for more than half an hour. I don't think I'm that interesting, but you know, if you think I am, thank you. But yeah, I wanted to cut it out because I know people are busy, and maybe they can put me on the background while they do other stuff, but I'm going to cut this thing off and show you what else I picked up recently. And these are going to be the bigger, well, not that bigger, but the sort of bigger blasters that I picked up Nerf-wise. Like I said, Nerf blasters here are relatively cheap. I have compared prices. They were way cheaper than buying them new, but of course you run the risk of buying lemons that, you know, they don't work anymore, or they're on the brink of breaking down. So it's a risk that you unfortunately I have to take as I'm going through this Nerf adventure. I do think that I've gotten to the point where I have all the blasters that I want. I don't want to fall into the trap of buying doubles on all of the blasters. So I think what I'm going to do from this point on is I'm going to mod them. I'm going to start looking into modding or integrating the Nerf blasters. So yeah, that's the next thing that I'm going to do. Because as far as blasters, there's only maybe 3 to 4 blasters that I really want to add to the collection. But if I can get those, that's it. I'm done. I don't need to buy any more blasters. I can start modding them, and that's what I'm going to start doing. But I wanted to talk about what I got. And first thing I'm actually going to talk about is swords. If you've been following my channel for a while, you know that I love swords. I think they're awesome. Again, it goes back to my love for Japanese culture with the samurai swords and the katanas and the ninja swords and all that stuff. And my love for Star Wars, because one of the best weapons in all of movie history is the lightsaber. So that integrates my love for swords and my love for Star Wars. So I'm always on the lookout for swords. And in this occasion, I found this sword. The problem, it's an electronic sword, but the problem with electronics, anything, is that, you know, if you buy it used, you run the risk of not working. And unfortunately, I don't always test out the swords when I'm chopping, because, you know, if the batteries might not work or stuff like that. So it's not until I get home that I unscrew the battery tray, put in batteries, that I see if they work or don't work. Or in the case like that Mace Windu lightsaber, they don't even have the light, which sucks. But I still like the look of the lightsabers, and this is a blue lightsaber. If memory serves me right, I think this is Anakin's lightsaber, and which later became Luke's lightsaber. I already have a blue lightsaber, but that one only lights up. This one I picked up because I thought it had sound effects. Those are the better ones, you know, the ones that light up and also do the woo 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 sound effect. This one lights up. I did put batteries in it, and that's as far as this thing goes. It's still a pretty good length. It doesn't, unfortunately, go all the way down, much like that Mace Windu lightsaber, which, that sucks. But the other problem is that it doesn't have any sound effects. It might be a wire that burned. I'm not good with electronics. I can't fix something electronic for the life of me. Maybe somewhere down the line I'll pick up that ability, but I have no way of, you know, soldering something and making something like that work. It obviously does do sound effects, because when I put batteries in this thing, it lights up, and the newer lightsabers, when you smack it on something, they flash and they do the sound effect. This one has that, but no sound is coming out of this, so it might be a wire that got chewed off or it got burned out. I have no way of fixing this, but it's still a nice lightsaber. I still like the look of the plastic. It's transparent blue. The one that I have that only lights up is kind of like this bluish but darker. It's not see-through like this one. This one I like. I like quite a bit. The length of the holder is the same, but yeah, the bummer is that it doesn't actually have any sound effects. So I've bought 2 dud lightsabers, which is still good for props, you know, but yeah, I do like the lightsabers that light up and have sound effects. Those are cooler. For my wife is a big Harry Potter fan. She loves Harry Potter, and she read all the books as soon as they came out. She loves all the movies. She's like an encyclopedia of Harry Potter if I have any questions. And she's really looking forward to that prequel thing that they're doing, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, which is going to come out in 2 weeks. I still have to take her to the Universal Studios park that they built for Harry Potter. And I want to get her a magician's wand. I haven't found one. But what I did find is this. And this is the Sword of Gryffindor. It has an engraved here that says Godric Gryffindor. And in the Harry Potter universe, each house in Hogwarts has a symbol or something that represents them. For Gryffindor, it's the Sword of Gryffindor. This sword has magical properties that allow it to absorb the strengths of other things. For example, it was used to it was used to kill the basilisk, so it absorbed the ability to, you know, do that. And also, it's electronic. It has sound effect. You push this button, and it has a sound effect like, you know, you're clashing metal on metal. The blade's a little bent. I need to see how I can fix that. But I gave it to my wife, and she was super happy to have the Sword of Gryffindor, because this thing plays a major part in the end of Chamber of Secrets, because again, it's used to kill the basilisk, and it's also used to destroy Horcruxes. So, and the sword supposedly only appears to those that are worthy to wield it. So it has a nice mythology behind it, and it has a cool power set and everything. So, and it's a Harry Potter collectible that my wife rather enjoyed. It's a lot smaller than it is in the movie. Of course, this is a kids collectible prop. There are way bigger replicas out there, but this one is pretty cool. My wife loved it. I actually showed it off before I gave it to my wife to a couple of people that are also Harry Potter fans, and they wanted it. But of course, I picked this one up specifically for my wife. So I want to build her a nice display thing that we can put it like that. And yeah, but I'm still looking for a wizard's wand, because my wife would go crazy with one of those. Okay, I picked up a Brave quiver, which is where you put the arrows. Because for Halloween I was going to go as Hawkeye, and I did go dressed up as Hawkeye. Actually, for work I went as Negan. I made a Halloween costume for Negan, and actually, now that I mentioned it, I actually forgot something. 1 second. I actually wanted to show this off because I'm quite proud of it. I bought this baseball bat because I wanted a baseball bat, and I didn't own a baseball bat, and I couldn't find a baseball bat. So for my Negan costume, I was literally gonna make my own bat. I had a very small wooden stick, and I was just gonna put a piece of cardboard on top to kind of make it into a bat, but I didn't like how that looked. If there's one thing that my OCD causes is that I like making things that look relatively well, and yeah, I wasn't happy with that. So I went downtown to this secondhand store that I know, where I bought books before and toys for my daughter, and I asked, "Hey, I know it's out of the blue. Do you have any bats?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I have this bat, and this is a Hilaric and Bradsby Company 1977 wooden bat. So I was like, how much for the bat? And he's like, oh, give me 50 pesos. And I'm like, sold. Gave him the 50 pesos and took the original cardboard part that I had built and used that as a sleeve. And I just, put that as a sleeve. I had painted it red because, you don't watch The Walking Dead, you know that Lucille, she's a vampire bat. And Negan used it to clobber, spoiler alert, used to clobber Abraham and Glenn. So I put that as a sleeve there. I can't consciously use barbed wire. So I use these. I used clips to make the metal simulating barbed wire. It came out pretty well. Not a lot of people knew who Negan was because not a lot of people watched The Walking Dead. A lot of people that I know gave up on that show after the prison season. But me and the wife loved The Walking Dead, and even though we hate Negan for what he did, I liked the look of Negan, so that's why for Halloween I went dressed as Negan, and it was a hit. People that recognized me thought my costume was really spot on, and they loved what I did with the bat, how it looks, all red and with the simulated barbed wire. So I'm quite proud of this. I'm actually quite proud of how that costume came out, and how my Lucille came out. I'm gonna do something with Lucille for Professor Macabre, so stay out for it. But I wanted to share that because I'm actually quite proud of how that turned out. Not that I don't know. I have self-esteem issues, so I'm not always happy with the stuff I do. But when I feel that something came out well, I do like to toot my own horn from time to time. But that was for my job's Halloween contest. And for my birthday on Halloween, I went as Hawkeye. And I bought the official Marvel Disney Store Hawkeye Quiver. This is the official one. I was going to use the Brave one because it's the only quiver I could find. But this is, I don't know if it's going to pick up, but this is, there we go. It's Marvel, the official Marvel Hawkeye quiver, where you would put the toy arrows here. And this will work great. It worked great for that Halloween costume, but for nerfing it will work great because I think it'll fit a couple of magazines or darts. I could use it for whatever. So I'm really happy with this, and of course it's the official Marvel Hawkeye quiver that worked great with that Halloween costume. Really happy about that. Picked up a Hammershot. This is one of the few Nerf weapons that's, with enough practice, you could dual wield. The best one, I'm really bummed out that it broke, and I have not been able to find a replacement, is the Snapfire 8. That one you literally just had to pull the trigger and it would shoot the darts. This one has, most Nerf handguns have some sort of priming here. This one has the trigger here, and you just prime it like that, and then shoot, and it shoots. And it shoots very well, but it only has 5 dart storage. But I like the feel of it. I do like how it feels. The priming thing is pretty cool. But there are, if I had to choose between Snapfire 8 or this, I would choose the Snapfire 8 because it has a lot easier. It's a lot easier to prime, and it has 8 dart storage instead of the 5. But this is a pretty cool gun. Bought it cheap. Someone in Goodwill originally got it for $2.99, and I bought it in a flea market here in Mexico for $1. So I thought that was pretty cool. And it's part of the Zombie Strike series. Already had the yellow version of this, but I wanted the blue one because I think it looks pretty cool. And this is the Firefly, Rev 8. Has an 8 dart barrel, and you prime it with this. shoot. And it shoots very well. It's actually a very nice blaster. It has a really nice kick to it. And it has this really comfy stock. So you can go like this, and I think this is pretty cool. The yellow one is awesome, but I like the blue version a little better because it's blue and it looks like a sci-fi gun that you could shoot like this. So what I'm loving about Nerf, and the reason why I'm so hooked, is because it can work on so many levels. You can play with your nephews and nieces at the park, just shooting darts. For costuming, they're cool because if I ever get creative and have the skill and develop the skill to build foam armor, I could do a sci-fi suit and have this baby here and cosplay the hell of that. And there's also the whole collecting aspect, which I like, and there's also the modding aspect, which is what I do want to get into. I want to learn how to mod these things and make like these super awesome blasters that I see people in YouTube build. The things that people build with these blasters is amazing, and that's something that's honestly getting me hooked. Also bought a Scout. This is a handgun. You prime it like that, and it shoots. It shoots not as well. The Hammershot shoots better. But I like the design of it. It came with this extra dart holder thing, which is from a Rebel Heartbreaker bow. But it was loose. I stuffed it in there and I got it dirt cheap. Has 2 dart storage and it's a single shot blaster, but I like the look of it. I like the design. It actually looks like a handgun, and this will work well for costumes. Picked up a Ninja Turtle sai, because love Japanese culture again, and I have swords, but I didn't have a sai. And this is originally a kid's toy, obviously based on the new Ninja Turtles cartoon, but the length for me is pretty good. I'm a short guy, so kids' toys tend to look normal size to me. But Ninja Turtles, I love the Ninja Turtles, and I thought this was really cool. Got it super dirt cheap. Picked up a Firestrike, which is basically just a Night Finder. It's the elite version of the Night Finder. If you put batteries in this thing, the laser thing would work. 2 dart storage. You prime it by pulling this thing, and it shoots. And Night Finders and Firestrikes shoot very well. I already have the original Night Finder, the Endstrike Night Finder. I'm missing the Dart Tag Night Finder, which was called Firestrike then. And I'm missing the Firestrike Elite XD. So there's a lot of versions, but each one is a little different. So if I come across those, I'll pick them up. But I like this blaster. It's nice, compact, futuristic looking, and I rather quite like it. Let's see, what else I picked up? I picked up a Busby Tech 6. A lot of people in the YouTube Nerf modding community call these Spring Donor 6. Because Busby's, the quality of the plastic is not the best, and they tend to fail, but the springs inside these things, a lot of people take the springs out and use that to beef up the other blasters, but I kind of like it. You can hear it sounds pretty well, but it's pretty cool. Picked up this thing, and this is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle hand thing that shoots foam discs. It's very similar to the Iron Man disc launcher. You put the discs here, and here, little foam discs, and then you shoot it by pulling this thing behind, and you can just shoot foam discs. But I like the fact that it fits my hand, so if I ever wanted a Ninja Turtles costume, I have the sword, I have the sai, and I have this thing that simulates a Ninja Turtle hand. We just need another one for this. But I love the Ninja Turtles, and anything Ninja Turtle-ish or Star Wars, I'm going to pick up, because that's how I roll. But I thought this was pretty cool, and it works good as a collection piece. Picked up a 30 magazine, well, a 30 dart drum. You can put, I'm sorry, it's a 35 drum. You can put 35 drum. You can put 35 darts into this drum. Just stick it into the blaster and shoot 35 rounds. This will actually work a lot better on the Rhino Fire, because that one just clicks on like that or like that, and you can shoot up to 70 darts with that thing. But I only have 2, but you know, an extra one is not that bad. Picked up a Mega Magnus. I picked up a Cyclone Shock a while ago. That one's better. That one holds more darts. This one only has an internal magazine, but only holds 3 darts. And it shoots the Mega darts that Nerf came out, the big badass ones. But I saw this cheap. I like how it looks. It looks pretty cool, like a shotgun a small shotgun kind of thing. It shoots very well, actually. It shoots very well, but the fact that it only holds 3 darts is kind of disappointing. But you prime it like this, and you would put a dart in, or you could put it after you prime it and put it back in its original position. You could put a dart here and then shoot. And it sounds like it shoots really hard, and it does. It does have a lot of kick to it. And it's a Zombie Strike variant to the Mega Magnus, but it's pretty cool. I like the look of it. Picked up a Stockade, which is the elite version of the Barricade from the Endstrike series. I also picked up this, it's not going to come out, this stock. This is a Recon stock, which is pretty cool because you can put a 6 dart magazine here, but I just connected it to the Stockade, and I have the Barricade in the Endstrike yellow, the Barricade in the Sonic green, and I have the elite version of that, the Stockade. The only problem with the Stockade is that the flywheels and the motor are actually weaker than on the Barricade, but I again found it cheap. It works. I took out the batteries because you should never leave batteries on anything electronic and then just store it, because the batteries are going to leak and it's going to mess your stuff up. But it works, it shoots, it's awesome. This is theoretically the other blaster that you could dual wield. You just turn the sucker on and then just pew, 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 shoot with another Barricade or another Stockade. It has relatively decent dart capacity, so it's pretty cool. I like it. Of course, I'd have to get a better stock than that Recon one. This one I only picked up because I saw Qualcomm S7 do a video on it, and it's a glow show blaster. Basically, what you would do is that you would put a big ass dart thing here that had like a sticky substance, and you would put stickers there, and then you would just prime it like this, shoot it, and it would stick the stickers in the ceiling or on the roof, and they were glow in the dark. But this baby actually shoots mega darts very well. Wow, it does sound like it has a nice kick. The color scheme, it could pass off as a Rebel mega dart blaster. You would just have to get rid of the stickers here. It also comes with lights that would charge the glow-in-the-dark stickers. And the lights are pretty strong. I actually put some batteries in this baby. And the lights are very, very strong. It's like a Fire Strike or Night Finder for Megas. Which actually, they already released one of those. But before that released a Hot Shock, I think it's called. This thing existed. So it's pretty cool. It's not very comfortable because it's very heavy on the back, but it still shoots mega darts, and the lights on this are freaking intense. So I saw it, remembered Qualcomm's video, and I was like, I'm gonna pick that shit up. Picked up this Busby turret. I like it because it's kind of similar to the Tommy Automatic 20. This one has an internal thing here, like that, and it allows you to put darts in these little shells. You put the darts here, put the shells here, and the gimmick to this, and it's a very complicated gimmick, but at the same time it's kind of cool, is that once everything is loaded, you push this thing back, push it forward, and it releases, it shoots the dart and it releases the shells. So let's try that again. It shoots. It expels the shell, and then you would shoot, but of course it doesn't have a dart, so it doesn't shoot. It's ridiculous how it shoots that, but it spews out the shells, and the only very unpractical thing about this is that, you know, if you lose the shells, this thing is useless. Spews out the shell, but you gotta be really. I'm sorry, it's really fun, but you have to press this thing all the way back and then forward, otherwise it won't shoot. It'll spit out the shell, but it won't shoot the dart, so you gotta be like, you gotta really work it. But I'm making a mess of shells here, but I like that gimmick. It's ridiculous that it's shooting the freaking shells like that. And I'm gonna have to pick everything up, but it's a really fun blaster. Like I said, you just have to really work it, but it spits out the shells. And the only problem is, of course, if you lose the shells, this thing is useless, totally useless. You can buy the shells online, but yeah, it's a fun blaster. I'm trying to go for a complete Vortex Blaster collection, and there was two that I was missing. The Nitron, which is this baby here, cost me $1, and it's the electronic full auto Vortex Blaster. So you would put the batteries that this thing takes are obscene, but you would put batteries in this. Load up your magazine, and then you just press this rev trigger, and then shoot, and it would just shoot the discs full auto. Unfortunately, this one is kind of dirty. I do have to find a way to open it up and clean it, because it doesn't actually shoot. It revs up, but it doesn't shoot. So the trigger here is very, very sticky. So I'm guessing it has some dirt and grime inside that I have to open up and clean, and hopefully I can get it working. But I bought this for $1, and it had the magazine with 20 discs, and that alone I think is worth the $1 that I paid for this thing. If I can get this thing working, that's going to be super sweet. But the magazine and the 20 discs alone are worth the $1. Almost done, guys. I picked up, to complete my original Vortex line, I picked up a Paragon. This thing is actually pretty sweet. It's a pump action blaster that you would load it with magazines. You would load a magazine here with dart, with the discs, and you would just pump it and shoot. It's very similar to the Praxis that I showed a while back, but this one has slam fire. If you leave this thing pressed, you can just pump this thing and shoot darts like crazy. And that one came. I showcased this a while back. This is a 40 disc drum that was specifically designed for this blaster. So I bought this thing before I had this thing. So you would just put this thing here. Bam! Yeah, it increases the weight quite a bit, but with the slam fire, 40 discs is amazing. You can just be like bah, 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 shooting people with the things. And now I have a complete Praxis, a complete Paragon. I'm sorry. So I thought that was pretty cool. Complete Paragon is amazing, in my opinion. And the very last thing that I'm going to showcase is a blaster that I saw Walcom talk about, and I saw Coop 772 talk about. Coop didn't like it, Walcom loved it, I bought mine, and I love it. I like crossbows. The last crossbow I picked up was that Zombie Strike Crossfire that will only shoot 4 darts. This is the Endstrike Elite Crossbolt. This thing is pretty amazing. It has magazines, so you can load up. Oop, well, that one flying. You can load up magazines. You can do a 6 magazine. You can do a 10 magazine. You can do a 12, an 18, a drum, whatever you want. You put the magazine here on the back, like so. Once it has a magazine and it has darts, you pull this thing back, and the string here connects to a little piece of plastic there, and this thing is entirely spring powered. If you cut this thing off, the thing won't work anymore. It needs the string to push the mechanism forward, and once that thing is primed, you can just shoot it. Shoot over there, and it shoots really hard. This thing is amazing. Walcom was saying that you can actually improve the blast of this thing if you can just unscrew that little knob here, tighten this thing even more, and you can get obscene power. And this thing works great with this hand grip that I bought before because it's orange, and then you can just be like this. And just crossbow people all over the place. I like it. I like it a lot. You know, if I ever cosplay as Daryl from The Walking Dead, I can use that Zombie Strike crossbow, crossfire, or I can use this one if I want to look more badass. But I like this blaster. I like it quite a bit. It's very comfortable. It shoots really hard, and with this extra thing, you know, you have extra gripping power to really get everything accurate and bam, shoot people. Really fun. This is really fun. Really fun blaster. I like the look of it. I like how it shoots. This has become one of my favorite blasters, actually. Really, really cool. And it reminds me a lot of the crossbow that Link uses in one of the Zelda games, obviously without this thing, but yeah, this is fun. I'm super happy I found this one. So yeah, that's the last of the big Nerf blaster things that I picked up. I will have to cut down on the bigger blasters because I am running out of space where to put them. The small blasters are not that big of a problem, but I know I said this last video, but I do need to cut down on the nerfing. Thankfully, like I said, with this batch of guns, I don't need any more blasters. There's very few blasters that I'm missing. I would like to get a Stampede, which is this big assault rifle kind of thing. That one's cool. I've seen a lot of people mod that, and that it looks beautiful. But yeah, there's really not that many blasters that I would actively want. So I'm going to try to get into modding. Simple stuff at first, then I'll get into more complicated stuff like integration and stuff like that. But this was the Nerf pickup video. Lots of awesome stuff that I picked up. The Crossbolt is my favorite blaster, but this one's pretty fun. You know, you have to take care of the shells. Otherwise, actually, shells. But the fact that it does that is pretty cool. But you really have to work it because the gear in this thing is kind of hard. But this is fun. This is a fun blaster. I like that one quite a bit. So yeah, I want to stop talking now because I don't know how long I've been talking. If you've heard me talk for this long, thanks so much for that. I do thank anyone that watches my videos and hears me ramble on and on and on about stuff. Like always, thanks so much for that, and until I see you all again, this is Vargas XX78 thanking you, and from the Vargas Vault, signing out.